Hello everyone and welcome to another episode in my wedding planning series. In this video, I share 20 mostly forgotten wedding details that can make a big difference. These are things that we can easily forget in the planning process that I want to share with you. And number one on that list is transportation. We think about transportation to the ceremony. Make sure you also have transportation from the ceremony to the reception and from the reception to the hotel room or wherever you're planning to stay the night. You don't want to be caught at 12 midnight trying to pack a big ball gown into an Uber. Don't do it, you'll regret it. Point number two is directional signs or road signs. If your venue is difficult to find, make sure that you place directional cards inside of your invitations to your guests. We all know how directions in Ghana work. Don't do the after the coconut seller, 2 stops away from the plantain seller thing, and then we turn up on the day, both plantain and coconut sellers don't show up and there's complete chaos. 300 people calling for directions is not a good look. So make sure that you place a card inside of your invitation suite. Third on my list is make sure you hire a wedding planner. But if you cannot afford a wedding planner, make sure that you have at least a day of coordinator. If you still cannot afford a day off or month of coordinator, make sure that you designate a point person or a wingman. This is someone that everybody goes to when they need more information or they need help. And you want to give this person's number to all of your vendors and to everyone playing a key role on your wedding day. You don't want to be caught picking all of the calls from vendors on the morning of your wedding. No matter how laid back you are, this will stress you out. So appoint a point person or a wingman. Fourth on my list is make sure you allow plenty time for hair and makeup. Don't do half an hour. We underestimate the time that hair and makeup takes. It's actually a lot of work and a lot of effort and a lot of time. So make sure you have plenty time for that. Ideally, you should have had a trial run with your makeup artist. If you haven't done that, that's fine, but make sure that you prep them ahead of time. Make sure that you tell them what wedding look you're going for so that they're already prepared when they show up on that day. Fifth on my list will be plan for your overnight bags. We forget this a lot of the time. Please don't forget to plan for your overnight bags, especially if you're not sleeping in the same room on your wedding night as you get dressed in. So pack everything that you need for the 1 night or 2 nights you're going to stay inside of the hotel room, and make sure it is inside the hotel room before you get there. My point number 6 will be make sure you have cash and ID cards on you. A lot of hotels will require that you show them some form of ID before they check you in. If you do have a wedding planner who has planned several weddings in that hotel, usually he or she will be able to check you in ahead of time. If you're on your own, make sure you have cash and ID. Cash because sometimes our credit and debit cards can just take a rain check on us, and I know from experience. So make sure that you have that on you. My point number 7, try out your wedding shoes ahead of your wedding. I made that mistake. My 4-inch heels was not such a great idea after 8 hours on my wedding day because I never tried them out. You try it on for 2 minutes and you take them off and assume that everything will be fine. Make sure you break in your wedding shoes so you don't go faint on the aisle. My point number 8 will be make sure you create an emergency wedding box. You want to put things in there like a first aid kit, lip gloss, mints even. You want to place some painkillers in there, eyelash glue even. All of these things should be in your emergency box just in case you need something. A sewing kit even should be in that box. My point number 9 will be to make time to eat and stay hydrated. Don't think so much about how flat your tummy will look, especially if you're getting married later on in the day. You want to make sure you grab at least a sandwich and have a bottle of water with you throughout the day. There is such a thing as a fainting bride, and you don't want to be it. So make sure that you eat something on the morning of your wedding day and you stay hydrated. My point number 10 will be plan your photo shoot ahead of time with your photographer. Ideally, you want to put together a photography planner for your photographer. Even if he knows the area in which you're getting married, you want to talk through things like where your exclusives will be taken so that you have an idea of where. Meet him there on time so he can grab all of those photos of you between the ceremony and the reception. My point number 11, designate a photo wrangler or a point person. You have to have someone on standby who's going to show us who Uncle Bob is and who Auntie Becky is, because we don't know who they are. So make sure there's someone to point out family members to your photographer so that you can get all of the group photographs that you want to be able to keep for later on for generations. My point number 12, make sure you print reserved signage for yourself and your family. We assume that all of our guests have been to at least one wedding, but what if they sit on the front row instead of our parents? So make sure that you have some reserved signage, both for the ceremony and the reception, because you want your families to have seating first. My point number 13, designate a gift attendant. It is important that you designate one person to take care of all of your wedding gifts, and also make sure that those gifts make their way to your hotel room or into your car after the reception. My point number 14, make sure you create a list of all of your DIY props and personalized items and tell people exactly where to place them. If you have a point person, then you want to give that list to your point person. It also helps them be able to collect all of these items after the event and return them to you. Point number 15, make sure you prepare items like cake cutting set, toasting glasses, guest books, and all of that in advance and give them to your point person. My point number 16, don't forget to create a music planner for your DJ. All of those songs that you hear aren't spontaneous. Usually the wedding planner would have sat with a DJ and gone through all of the different songs they need to play. So give your DJ a list of songs for your procession, your reception, your first dance, your dance with your dad, your dance with your husband on the night of the wedding. Don't forget that. My point number 17, make sure you feed your wedding vendors, guys. Your photographer, your videographer, all of these people are going to be with you 8 to 10 hours. Just be a nice person and organize a vendor table for your vendors. I like to think that all of the vendors that you've hired are very professional and will deliver as they promise. But if your photographer hasn't had any water and any meals for 8 hours, he won't even be able to see you clearly. So make sure you have a meal at least for all of your vendors and some drinks for them as well. My point number 18, make sure you hire a venue cleanup agency who will clean up the venue and restore it to its original state. Unless you are hiring a 5-star hotel ballroom or some other venue that comes with everything all inclusive, usually it will be your responsibility to restore the venue to its original state. So make sure that you designate a team who will be responsible for that. My point number 19, don't forget the ladies in high heels. Make sure that you organize baskets of flip-flops. It's not expensive. Flip-flops will cost you like $1 each. So make sure you organize a basket of flip-flops, not just for your bridal team, but also for your guests, because it encourages them to dance. When I am in really ridiculously high heels, which a lot of us somehow end up wearing, I don't want to dance much, I want to sit. So organize that so that your dance floor will be full. My final point, create a wedding hashtag. If you are a social media person, create a wedding hashtag that allows you to create all of your photos online in one album. If you don't want everyone seeing your wedding photos, then put up a private Facebook page where guests can share photos with each other. It just adds a really lovely ending to a very beautiful celebration. So add all of that. I hope that you have found this video informative. If you did, remember to hit the subscribe button below and hit the like button. I look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye.